Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. I'm in a little bit of an emotional mood right now. I don't know why. I woke up and I spent about an hour in total ego mode. In my mind, I was just pacing up and down and talking about, um, like to someone in my head and just talking about, total ego mode. Like this, I'm good at this and I've done this and that kind of thing where trying to prove that I'm good. And then I just went and I prayed and I just started crying and I was like, why am I in such an ego mode? God, please help me get out of this ego mode. And so I'm just a little bit emotional. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm starting to have, like, I'm studying with a friend, like, pretty intensely, the Gita. So I'm feeling like I'm starting to have some kinds of glimpses. And oh, and I mean, just this morning, because when I was praying, like, please help me get out of the ego mode, that also felt like a glimpse. So it's the thing that I think I mentioned yesterday in one of the videos. I might have, but let me just say it again, anyways. That when you pray, just pray with like as much depth as you can possibly have access to right now, and say, please help me. Please help me get out of my ego mode, and please help me turn towards you. I want my heart to turn towards you. Okay, I was listening to this video yesterday that somebody sent me, which is just out of this world amazing. It is a podcast interview by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu and Garuda Prabhu, who has written apparently the Gita. He's translated it. And the conversation, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu has just such a brilliant mind and such a clear mind. My goodness, it's beautiful. I'm going to post that here, the link to that podcast. It's on YouTube, and it helped me in so many ways, understand so many different things. I need to listen to it at least 5 times before I understand. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I think that also helped. And it is very inclusive. He talks about all kinds of things, but he talks about that you can use. It's okay to use different parts of the Gita if you don't want to, like, go to the conclusion of the bhakti, which is how Prabhupada has written it. But it's okay. It can be an inclusive text. It doesn't have to be like, if you're not doing bhakti, then you're not reading Gita and you're not doing enough or whatever. No, even if you want to look at Gita from the perspective of leadership, that's okay. That's great. You do that. And there's one example that he gave, which was beautiful, which he said, people often, like leaders in ISKCON or leaders in the spiritual world like this, will often say, oh, I brought in this many people into the Krishna consciousness. And so what he was saying is, this is like such an ego-filled thing. He was like, why don't you ask people, how many people did you turn away from Krishna consciousness because you weren't able to answer their questions, because they're asking difficult questions. And people have this, sometimes the leaders have this thing, oh, you're not going to be able to attain Krishna because you're asking difficult questions and you have too many blocks and things like that. And he was like, no, it is our responsibility to answer those questions. And if we can't, that's okay. If we can't answer them, but we can say, okay, I'll think about this and I'll get back to you whenever I can, like, or whatever. I mean, have that kind of a understanding that the questions are important, and don't turn away. Don't say, oh, you're never going to be able to attain Krishna because you have too many blocks. That is a thing that people they have a tendency to do. But if you do things like that, then you're turning away people. So that's why he was asking, like, how many people have you actually turned away? No, don't see about how many people you've brought in. Ask how many people you've turned away. So yeah, it's a very, very good video. I'll post the link on the description. Um, yeah, okay. So what I'm trying to say is, let's keep going. Like, I'm saying this to myself as well, because because I'm feeling, I don't know, so much. But I'm saying to you as well, let's keep going on this journey. Let's just keep trying. Let's keep doing this every day. The When I started this in February last year, February 2023, doing one verse a day, One, my goal was to do all 700 verses and do one video per verse, and I didn't have this fixed thing that I'm going to do one a day, but I had this, the commitment was to do 700 verses and one video per verse, so 700 videos, but I did not have the commitment to do one verse a day, but I kind of had a very strong intention. So I've been doing that, and I took 2.5 month break in between because I had a problem with the verse 932, and so I still have a problem with the verse 932, but I decided to put that aside for now, and I decided to come back into it. So I'm doing 2 verses a day now to catch up. So what I'm trying to say is that the what came into me, this was Krishna who brought this into me, right? It was purely Krishna who just said this. One day I was listening to Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's video, actually, overview of the Gita videos on YouTube, and Gita Light, I think he calls them. And for some reason, just that day, I was like, from tomorrow onwards, and now I'm very scared of making commitments. I'm very, very scared of making commitments because it's like, I don't feel like, I mean, now I'm a little bit better, but I didn't feel like I had the emotional strength to make commitments. So I would set intentions, but I would not make commitments. But at that time, it was a commitment. I was like, I'm doing this, I'm doing the 700 verses, I'm doing a video. And there was so much clarity. There was no confusion at all in me. Should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? Should I do multiple verses a day? Should I study on my own? Should I post a video? How should I post a video? What should I do? Like, none of that confusion. It was so clear that I'm going to do this. That directly came from Krishna, right? But the reason for that, the way I've been living my life is that whenever I want to do something new, I kind of make a decision that I'm going to do something a day, every day. I don't go in deep, like jump in. I mean, I do jump in, but I jump in. The commitment that I make, or the intention even that I make, is very precise, specific, not undoable, not big things. I make the intentions or commitments. For commitments, I rarely make, but for very, very small things. So I made this commitment, but it's working. Now I'm seeing that it's working. It's been almost a year now. It's January. I started this in February, and I'm seeing the intensity with which it's working, because I'm seeing the glimpses. I have so much better understanding of the Gita than I had a year ago. So my encouragement to you is to just keep doing it. Keep at it, keep with me, study with me, or whoever you choose to study with, but keep studying and keep at it. Okay, so let's sing the verse together. And I'm really hoping I'm just opening my heart up right now, and I hope all of you are gaining as much as I possibly can transmit to you. I hope you are gaining as much as you can, and I hope you're studying all kinds of other things. I hope you're doing kirtans. I hope you're doing chanting. I hope you're doing things that are going to help you in a big way. I hope you're making progress in your spiritual journey. Okay, let's sing the verse together. इच्छाद्वेषसमुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप. Okay. Ichha is desire, dvesh is hate. So raga dvesha, like attachment and hate, is a common phrase that is used. So instead of raga dvesha, he's using ichha dvesha, desire and hate. Sammuthena, arisen. Oh, sorry. The translation. O sign of Bharat, basically. O Arjun, O conqueror of the foe. Parantapa, O conqueror of this. So he's using two words, Bharata, basically descendant of Bharat, and Parantapa. So he's very, 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 very sweetly calling him by two names here. For all living entities that are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. Okay, so we're all born into delusion, and we all have desire and hate. Okay, so desire and hate arisen from duality, dvandva. Duality. Dvandva is like a fight almost, Mohena, by the illusion. Moha is the illusion. Bharat, all living entities, sammoham, into delusion. Sarge, while taking birth. Yanti, go. Okay, so all living entities, while taking birth, go into delusion. As soon as we take birth, we go into delusion. What is the delusion? It's the illusion of duality, of desire and hate. Okay. Okay, so the real constitution position of the living entity is that of the, so we are meant to be servants. It's a very hard word, I understand. It's a very harsh word, servant, but we are meant, I'm going to try to explain from whatever I understand, of course, that that servant word is not meant to be a negative word at all. It is not meant to be like we are supposed to be subordinate. Our joy, the thing is that our joy comes from serving God. Our joy comes from loving God. And of course, God loves us like crazy. I mean, like mad. You listen to that video, that the monk podcast video, and you'll see what I'm saying. He loves us so much. And yeah, and then our joy comes from loving Him just completely, totally, unconditionally, every moment of our lives. All that we want is for Him to be happy. All that we want is for to serve Him. That makes us happy. That brings us joy. Anandambudhi Vardhanam from the Shikshashtakam. It's like ever expanding ocean of bliss. It gives us an ocean of bliss that we can never imagine having in this material world. We think that we're enjoying, but there's nothing. So yeah, that servant thing is not meant to be a negative thing. It actually brings us an ever expanding ocean of bliss. So the illusory energy, we're deluded into separation, and we are controlled by this illusory energy of desire and hate. Pure devotees, we're not deluded. Pure devotees who are not deluded by desire and hate can understand that Krishna appears by his internal potencies, but those are his material energies, and they're not his superior energies. And we're deluded by Maya, like he said earlier. We're deluded by Maya. So he has the inferior energies, material energies, which is the eightfold: the earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intellect, ego. And then he has the superior energy, which is the Jivatma, which is us, the living souls, the souls of all living beings. And then the third energy is Maya, which is the illusory energy, and this is what he's continuing to talk about now, Maya. So such deluded persons dwell in dualities of honor, dishonor, misery, happiness, man, woman, good, bad, pleasure, pain. This is my thing, this is my house, I am whatever. All of these are delusions. So Swami Kundanan says, the dualities of desire and aversion arise from illusion. All living beings in the material realm are deluded by these from birth, basically. Since birth, Sarge, from birth. Okay. Yeah. Our material intellect believes that the worldly pleasures will give us happiness and fulfillment. Of course, they won't. Okay. Our pleasure situations will only increase our material illusion. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it for this video. We'll do chapter 7, verse 28 in the next video. Wish you a day filled with tons of spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.